What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with the Braxton Season 2, Episode 4. Where did we go wrong? I'll tell y'all where y'all went wrong. That damn mommy and daddy. Okay? I don't know if the daddy name James. I forgot Kevin. Whatever the hell that daddy name is. That's where y'all help us went wrong. Cause this was a mess. This was a mess. I'm going to try to do this review, minus Tamar antics, because we know outside of the show, she's dramatic. Like, she always got something going with her. But when it comes to this sisterhood, it ain't it. I already said that Tony don't like them. It is evident if you guys cannot see it. She really don't fool with them like that. And Tawanda don't like Tamar. And it felt like Tamar has always tried to vie for Tawanda's love. We already seen how everybody treated Tracy. Definitely played in her face over the years, just as they do Tamar. However, they use all of her antics to make her seem like she's always the bad guy. I think that is what they call a form of gaslighting, I want to say. But honestly, those two, that mama and that daddy, somehow have those sisters, and maybe the brother too, I'm not sure, have them really messed up. Anyway, the episode picks back up with Tony asking Tamar, so you saying I didn't have your back. At this moment, I feel like Tony is playing semantics with poor. She's playing semantics because you already know Tamar wasn't talking about not ever, and she already said that. She was like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about with your lawyer friend. Now, I thought that Tony has something to do with that, but I think she knew about it. I think she knew something. I still feel like the mama, that brother, Trina, all had something, even Tawanda had all had something to do with that cease and desist. But, they're trying to hide it. I feel like none of this would have not happened if they would have just told her. Just told her who did it. Tell me who did it. And they allowed it to escalate with them playing in her face, making her feel like she was the crazy one. Anyway, Tony said in her confessional that they were supposed to talk about their mom, but Tamar came to attack them about the cease and desist. If me asking you which one of y'all did it is an attack, then guess what? It's an attack. I'm not here to argue. I'm asking y'all. Just be honest. But everybody kept dancing around the issue. So Tony said, she's in her feelings about something that she did not do. Trina asked Tamar if somebody walked up to your door. No, she asked Tamar, because Tamar was telling them, hey, somebody came up to my door. Some random person came to my door, handed me, the cease and desist. So Trina was like, somebody came to your door. And Tamar was like, you see this? This is what I'm talking about. It's the acting like you don't know what's happening type of situation. So Trina said in her confessional that she's not going to throw the rock and hide her hand. She said she didn't do it. The proof is in a black and white right there on your cease and desist. Trina also goes on to say, read it. In her confessional, she said, read it. You're not going to see my name, and that's not up to me to disclose the address. As a matter of fact, an attorney does not need for me to disclose an address. I was like, oh. And then she said, it doesn't matter who the attorney is. It was going to be done anyway. And so at this point, now I'm looking at Trina like, you had more, I guess, if I'm going to say this, you kind of had more to lose or, as it relates to this cease and desist. Because at the end of the day, this was about your deceased ex-husband who was being inappropriate with your niece. So yeah, I'ma say you had your hands all over this. And even just mainly by this statement says everything to me. Tamar says somebody gave the attorney my address. Tawana asked, Do I know where you live? Tamar said no, because you don't come over there. That's because they don't even talk. She said, but I know where you live because I paid the down payment. Tawanda said, you sure did. And I thank you. Thank you so much. And y'all know at this point, Tawanda was being a bit condescending about this whole situation. So Tamar said, then give me my money back because that wasn't a gift. And that was all the way in 2018. Now, my question is, did you ask her for the money back prior? Or is this your first time on camera asking for the money? Because if that's so, that's some bullshit. I can be on Tawanda's side. Like, if you knew that was a gift, if that wasn't a gift, that should have been put in writing. That should have been receipted somewhere so this woman can pay you your money back. But I'm willing to believe that was not a gift. I do believe that she gave her the money. It doesn't matter how much she gave her. She gave her the money to do what she needed to do to put that down payment on the house. But and Tawanda may have said, I'll pay you the money back, and probably just said it just to be nice. But there is no way in hell I would have gave somebody my money who do not see it for me. And to me, it often feels like a little bit of people pleasing when it comes to Tamar. And I want to say, even in all of her antics, even in all of her antics, she still had found a way over the years to people please the women, her sisters or whatever, people please her sisters, because she know that they don't see it for her. My bad, that's our air on. Anyway, we find out that Tawanda was using her credit card. Tawanda was using Tamar's credit card to pay her phone bill because she had multiple people on the line. Tamar didn't know anything about it. She said when she was changing some things over, this is when she found out. So Tawanda said in her confessional, you don't want to go blow for blow with me because you know what all of that, I know what all the bones are. She said, and I'm not going to be anybody's verbal punching bag anymore, and I'm not doing it. And I'm looking at Tawanda like, this is my thing with her. You literally sit there trying to be passive in your speech. You try to be passive in a way that you handle people to make it look like I'm not how people think I am. You really sit there and act so manipulative, even in your tone. Your tone is very mellow and but deep down, you a hateful, manipulative, diabolical lady. Okay? I'm working on myself. Anyway, Tawanda says to Tamar, you stole Tony's man. And Tamar threw that glass in between Tawanda and Tony. And then at this moment, we see Trina. Let me say that again. Tawanda said that Tamar stole Tony's man. Tamar threw the glass between Tawanda and Trina. And then we see Trina and Tamar smiling. Almost, it was like, again, I think I said this last week, they was reveling in her being mad. They know how to push Tamar's buttons. And they know this lady will go from here to here real quick. They've mastered that over the years because they've done it over the years. So because she's very her personality is big, they use that against her. The very thing, I think that's one of the things they don't like about her, is that her personality is big. So they use that against her and make everybody else think that Tamar is crazy or something is wrong with her, or she's the one that's always doing something because her personality is big. And Tony at this moment, because Tamar is pissed. Her and Trina are going back and forth. Tony tells them to shut the fuck up. Tony said that we are sisters and we don't act ghetto and stuff. Ma'am, y'all are absolutely ghetto. I don't care how much money you had, but all of this is ghetto. Y'all absolutely act like that. Y'all trying to perform and fake for the cameras. We see through all of it. It is what it is. All right? So Tawanda tells Tony, I don't deal with sick people. This absolutely pissed me off. Because you absolutely use this lady's mental health to throw a jab at her. Those backhanded jabs. That's the stuff I'm talking about. You use those things and you try to make it seem like, what? I didn't do nothing. So Tamar tells Tawanda, I will F you up. She said, you effing with my mental health when all of y'all needed pills just like me. And I believe her. Again, it goes back to that mama and that daddy. So Tony tells Tamar she's a mean girl and she's unkind to her family. And I feel like the only reason y'all saying that is because that lady speak up for herself and because she advocates for herself. Because anytime she try to advocate for herself, y'all have probably made her feel bad. And more likely, because she is so vocal, she's probably always been shut down as a kid, and now she's able to express herself. Now she's extremely vocal, and it's like it's out there. And so again, that's now Tony using her high personality to make it seem like, she's a mean girl, using her directness or her forward, the way she's very forward. And she can be. I will say that. Tamar is a lot of things. That she can be. Can she be an a-hole? Yeah, she absolutely can. Okay. But this was them using her stuff and throwing it in her face. Playing in her face with who she is and whatever she have going on. Just to make a point. Just to make it seem like to all of us that something is wrong with her. When really something is wrong with y'all. So Tony said Tamar slip is showing. And I'm like, no, all of y'all slips are showing. Not just hers. All of y'all's. All of y'all have issues. All of y'all ain't no good. So they tell Tamar the cease and desist conversation was supposed to be private. Oh. So now we getting somewhere. You see, she should have talked about the cease and desist. But like everything else with the Ashley situation, anything that's very heightened, they never want to talk about it on camera because they want to come and show themselves as this family that's just so perfect. But Tamar isn't that person. She breaks that up. And because of that, they get pissed off at her. Anyway, Tamar said, Tony said, it had to be that, Ashley talking about they wanted to bring Ashley on the show. Tony said when the family first saw Ashley video, her and Tamar talked about it because they both were disappointed because they didn't know what was happening with Ashley. So she thought Ashley should be on the Braxtons so everybody could talk about it. And I feel like when she said that, I feel like she meant everybody can come on there, spin the narrative of Ashley experience. So they can still come out looking like the family that don't have nothing going on, that family that is real loving and caring, and it's not. I feel like they wanted to spin their own narrative. So Tony goes on to say, I didn't think Tamar took it literal, and now she thinks I'm intentionally lying. What did you not think she would take literal? You said it would be a good idea for Ashley to be on the show. Guess what she did? She brought Ashley on the show. And then, because y'all didn't want any of this stuff come out, especially you, Trina, and probably especially Ashley Daddy, y'all sent Tamar a cease and desist. And she talked to y'all about these things. It wasn't like she didn't have a conversation. She may not have had a conversation with Tawanda, but she talked to y'all about the whole situation, bringing Ashley on her platform, and then y'all sent the cease and desist. At the end of the day, y'all couldn't spin the narrative on the Braxtons, and Tamar wanted to talk about it on her podcast, but then y'all shut that down. That is crazy to me, which lends me to believe that Gabe did something, because if he did nothing, y'all wouldn't be trying to hide it. And the fact that y'all protecting this dead ass man, this no good dead ass man, and not y'all niece, says a lot about y'all. Tamar said that Tawanda is a liar, and she tells Tony, I ain't gotta sleep with your man. She said, you think I'm thinking she said Birdman too. And so this when Tony get up and get in Tamar's face. And then Tamar got up and she was like this, like, y'all know how they go when they hold their stands like that, like they ready to fight. So Trina gets in between Tamar and Tony, and when she got in between those two, she moved Tamar like this. She moved Tony, she turned and stood in front of Tony, and then said to Tony, you are a superstar. And again, this is something else to piss Tamar off. Telling Tony she is a superstar, trying to make Tamar feel small. And so Trina's reasoning for getting in between Tony and Tamar was because Tamar is bigger than Tony. And didn't Tony tell Tamar, I'm in a different weight class than you? So that means when Tony said that, she meant to say, I can whoop her ass. So for you, Trina, to want to stand in the way, no, you just wanted to get in the way. And that is what I think. I think you were sitting there just as mad, but you tried to sit there with that smile and that smirk, but you was just as pissed off at Tamar as Lil Bill was and as Tony was. And then y'all always get mad at her for her antics, for her over-the-top antics. I am not taking up for Tamar. I'm just saying what I see, my opinion. And so Trina tells Tony, you're a superstar and you're classy. And I'm just looking at it. So what is Tamar? So is she a hood rat? Because I don't know. It just feels like you're implying all of these things. You're saying all of these things to Tony in order to piss off your little sister. At the end of the day, it's your ex, your raggedy ass ex that she wants to expose. And it's kind of odd because you sat there quiet the entire time. This episode, Tawanda sat there mainly quiet as well. So then Tawanda said, they're in her confessional, they're tired of dealing with certain behaviors, and they're just over it. She said, I know I am. You've been over it. You never really sorry for your sister. This right here is just an excuse for you to say, I really don't want to deal with her, when you never really liked her like that. You just needed an excuse. So you gonna use this situation to break this relationship with your sister, because you don't want to fool with her no more. And if you don't, just say that and stand in that. But don't use a situation for you not to want to be around anybody anymore. You've been wanting to do that, and you've been wanting to say that, and you've been saying that because you've been acting like that. Why? I don't know. Anyway, Tawanda is hugging Tony, and I can hear Tony say, get off of me. So she's in Tony's ear, and she tells Tony, let's call the cops and press charges on her. And Tony was like, I'm not finna do that. And I am, the hate and the venom that Tawanda has in her heart for her sister is unbelievable. Y'all, I do not even know what that's like. I have one brother. That is all I got. And I have never hated my brother. Always, I even like when we were kids and we would have our little scruffle, and I remember we had that one last scruffle and he whooped my ass. I ain't never had a fight with him no more. Shout out to my brother, because I did start that fight. Okay, we was kids, but I bet you that was my first and last. I was the little sister. Okay, sue me. Anyway, she was really wanting Tony to call the cops and press charges on Tamar. And I'm looking at Tawanda like, girl, you really hate this lady. The way out of spite, I would send Tawanda to court for everything she stole from me. And also, it says a lot that you have your wedding scheduled around Tamar's birthday. Because even though it is around her birthday, you still want it to matter. And you doing that, and you also being a martyr for all of your sisters and everything, I feel like that makes you resent them. And I feel like you're pissed off at them. And I feel like you want Tony's head up your ass because you had to take care of all of her things, and you had to work for her. And you just don't like Tamar. I don't know if it's just money, jealousy. I don't know if she's the little sister. I really don't know. Whatever. I don't know. But I just never seen Tamar that mad. We've seen her act up, and it's different. But I've never seen her that angry, and I've never seen Tony that angry. And so I saw a clip, they did show where she was all in Tony's face, and I'm like, girl, why are you in this lady's face like that? And then she said that Trina hit her or something. But Trina did not, because Trina's back, I will say this, Trina's back was turned to Tamar. So for Tamar to pull Trina's hair and kick her was not the way swing, because that lady didn't touch you. The only time she touched you was when she pushed you out of the way. And I feel like that was purposely done. I feel like you wanted to get in the way. I feel like you're trying to de-escalate something. Y'all already have security there. So what did you feel like you needed to get in the middle for? Y'all have security. Production has security. We seen security come up. I'm just saying. So, Tawanda is leaving at this point, and she yells and tells Trina to come on. And it's like, girl, who you talking to? It's crazy to me. So the next day, Tawanda and Trina meet up. Well, I guess the rest of the women are supposed to meet up for fittings and all of the things. Trina said, this is not what we do as sisters. And I'm looking at Trina. I'm looking at Trina like, girl, shut up. Because y'all attack y'all sisters. We see that. We got that. So Tawanda said it makes her very sad. And I'm looking at Lil Bill like, I know you lying. Like I said, I was not going to curse. I had said that. Okay? And she said Tamar is unpredictable, and she didn't know who she don't know who she gonna get. She also said she doesn't feel safe around Tamar anymore. Once again, you are going out of your way to make your sister look like the villain. And at the end of the day, we see you and your bald head ass, you're very manipulative. And you always want to use this soft tone. All the time. But even that person who was in a confessional talking about, you won't go for blow for blow with me. Yeah, that's who you are. But you try to hide it. And even while everybody was arguing, they kept saying, family don't do this. Family don't do that. This is why y'all are in the position that y'all are now. Because y'all do everything under the guise of family. No. And if anybody say anything, Lord forbid, I try to defend myself, protect myself, or state what's true, it's always, you can't do that because we're family. I'm just looking at them like, girl, shut the fuck up. Shut up. So Tawanda says she can't allow her in her life, and she doesn't want Tamar there. This is what she's telling Trina. Again, production asks her, what about Tamar attending your wedding? She said, let's just say I don't want any negative energy around me. And I'm looking at her once again because she a bald head ass lie. Okay? And you absolutely said you don't want that. Say it, if you're going to say it here, say it in your confessional. Say it in your confessional. So, Tony won't be at Tawanda's bridal shower because, and y'all know Angie Stone happened. She found out Angie Stone passed away. The people who does her, her background, I guess, the musicians, they were all with Angie Stone when the accident happened. But the only person that passed away was Angie Stone. And she tells them, hey, listen, y'all don't have to come, take your time, because I think they all had more, had a more than a working relationship with Angie Stone. So I'm pretty sure that was hard for them. So Tony was like, basically y'all process this thing. And so because her people can't come to Miami because she was gonna perform and then leave and head to Tawanda's baby shower, now she has to do a little more, which will require her not to be at Tawanda's baby shower. So she called Tawanda and let her know she won't be there. And Trina's crying, Tamar is crying, and I'm just looking at them like, shut the fuck up. So Tawanda, I know everybody looked at it like, Tony canceled on her again, but I don't think she meant to. So Tawanda feels like she should have blocked this weekend, and because it was set 8 months ago, just like you planned your sister's wedding on, around you. Just like you planned your wedding around your sister's birthday weekend. You don't think you could have moved that? But you're having this expectation of your sister. This is a paid gig, I'm assuming. And not only that, she did not know that this lady was going to pass. Like, I don't think whoever created this event is not like they knew your wedding was going to be on this day. It's crazy to me. So the showrunner talks to Tamar, and Tamar said since the Ashley situation, they stopped talking to her, and it was a lot of hate and it was a lot of anger. She said the only thing that bring her and her sister together are the cameras. And so is this when he and so he tells her, that Tawanda is getting married. And she was like, okay. And she said, but y'all haven't talked. She said, but we haven't talked since the end. I want to say the end of last season. They haven't talked. And the showrunner basically wants her to be friendly with her sisters. Why can't you go talk to them? Why are you talking to her? But Tamar was like, no. I ain't filming. Let them film and do whatever they gonna do, and I'ma film and I'ma do whatever I'ma do over here. Point blank in a period. So Tawanda, we get to this Bridgerton bridal shower, and Tawanda was getting her makeup done, and she's disappointed because Tony's not coming. And then she goes on to say that she wish Tracy was there, and I'm just like, bring on the violins, cause boy, it's me. Okay, y'all treated that lady like, but y'all gonna really sit here and act like, Tracy was, that sister. I feel like Tracy's passing her passing allowed us to see y'all for who y'all are. I don't mean to say it like that, but it now has shined a light on the things she had been talking about over the years. So they asked her, was Tamar coming? And she sat there really quiet. And what else happened in that moment? Because I didn't even write it down, because at this point, don't want to get on my damn nerves. She aggravates my soul. Okay. So then she head over to the party, to her bridal shower. Trina isn't there, so she's mad. She was like, I'm always there for everybody, and nobody's here for me. And my sisters and the rest of the bridal staff couldn't be here, and they're not here greeting the people. And it's almost like the treatment that Toni Braxton get as a celebrity. I feel like you want that same treatment. And I feel like you're sometimes mad at your sister Tamar because she gets that treatment as a celebrity, because she is a celebrity. You are a public figure, but you're not as big as Toni and Tamar. But you want that same celebrity rock star treatment that those two ladies get. And now you want this at your bridal shower. That's probably why you have all of those women as your lady of honor. That's why you're trying to be so different. She just aggravates me. She aggravates my soul, y'all. That is it. That is all I have. This was a lot. I don't know how many episodes they have, but now I want to see how the rest of the season unfolds, since they're not filming together. And I do not want their mom to come in with that stupid shit talking about y'all need to do right by each other because y'all family. Okay, ma'am, you are the reason. And I am going to say this again. Whensoever that lady go home to be with the Lord, you can hang it up flat screen on this entire sisterly relationship, because it is going to be over. All right, y'all, I am done. Again, I appreciate everybody who joined in on my live this afternoon, my Healing Out Loud segment, along with my cousin Koji. If y'all had not, go around there, go check out the replay. Y'all know, let me know what y'all think. Just shot it down, replay game. We talked about boundaries, and for the Healing Out Loud segment, episode 3 will be in December. I only do it once a month because I'm busy, my cousin is busy, and we work on each other's schedules. So I will let y'all know when that day comes. What we're gonna I think we're gonna do a bit of reflecting for the month of December. Do a recap or reflecting over our 2025, what has happened, all of the things. So yeah, that is all I got. I will see y'all tomorrow night for the Real Housewives of Potomac. And y'all, I know one more thing. I am slipping on my Insecure videos and the game videos. I have not forgot about those. I will definitely give y'all those. It's just that now next week, everything is about to start picking up with all these other shows. So yeah. But I will get that to y'all. Because I'm only doing season 1 of each. I will see y'all in the next video.